But first and foremost, I'm going to use this opportunity here to thank all my friends, family members, community members, residents of the 85th Assembly, other elected officials. I see the Representative Jay Xiong from Minnesota came all the way here to join us as well too. So thank you, Jay, for being here with us as well. If we can give him a round of applause as well too. I also want to acknowledge my fellow school board member, Larry Schaefer, for being here with us as well. Congratulations on his re-election. And I think I saw Alder Carol Lukens here as well too. If we could give her a round of applause as well. Just want to make sure that we acknowledge them as well too for their years of service and support with us. But I also want to start off by also acknowledging our clan leaders from the Hmong community as well. If all the clan leaders can please raise their hand as well too for being here with us today as well. As said earlier, my name is Yee Leng Xiong, and I stand before you as a proud American, a proud Wisconsinite, and a proud child of refugees. My story and journey are not just my own. They echo the stories of countless Americans and Wisconsinites whose lives are woven with the very fabric of our nation's founding principles. My story began long before my birth in 1994. Fleeing war-torn Laos and the specter of persecution due to the Hmong's involvement in the military conflicts in Southeast Asia, my parents embarked on a journey to the United States in search of a better life, in search of the American dream. With nothing but the clothes on their backs, my parents, along with my grandparents, my cousins, my older brother, and fellow villagers, made their way through the jungle of Laos to reach Thailand. The sacrifices were great. They had to give up everything they knew. We lost family members along the way, and the horrors that they had to face remain unspoken to this day. But whatever was thrown at them, their determination was unwavering. Starting from humble beginnings, my family's first source of income was gathering worms at Marathon County Park to sell for a few dollars. Eventually, through hard work and determination, my parents found jobs in a meat processing factory in Iowa, where they moved to for a few years. But because my parents fell in love with central Wisconsin, they decided to move back to make this place their home. My father worked on a ginseng farm. My mom worked in a factory doing what she knew best, which was sewing. Eventually, 10 days before I was born, my father left his job at the ginseng farm and came to work at a factory in Merrill, where he joined the local union. I was born in Wausau and raised in Weston. We knew that our family wasn't rich. We knew what it felt like to live paycheck to paycheck and to be frugal to ensure we made ends meet. We would pour water into our detergent and shampoo to make sure they lasted longer. We ate rice with water, and we celebrated special occasions by going out to our local fast food chains. And if we were good, we would go to our local Chinese buffet. I graduated from DC Everett School District in 2012 and attended the University of Wisconsin Marathon County. However, financial constraints forced me to leave college and support my family by working various service-oriented roles. From a local grocery store to a nonprofit providing services to elders and individuals with disabilities, to a nonprofit serving victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking, and eventually to my role now as an executive at a nonprofit that provides services to Southeast Asian individuals. There at my employer, with the financial frugal mentality that I was taught when I was younger, I spent years working to build and bring back a nonprofit that was on the verge of closure to where it is now with a budget of over $1 million. In addition to bringing the nonprofit back from the depths of bankruptcy, I led it to secure and bring in millions of dollars in economic impact to our community, supporting local businesses and causing our tourism economy to bloom. Service has always been the core of my being, whether mentoring youth, supporting elders, or advocating for the voiceless. I have strived to make a positive impact on the lives of others. Through my mentorship, I have mentored dozens of youth, many who are now in the public sector as members of the armed forces, such as the Marines, National Guard, and some even became members of law enforcement. I've instilled in them the importance of service. Just like what I taught my youth, I too am committed to serving. My commitment to serving and community welfare led me to being elected to the DC Everett School District in 2014. There I championed students' rights, fought for competitive pay for our teachers and support staff, and ensured top-tier education while keeping taxes low. In 2016, I extended my impact by securing a position to the Marathon County Board of Supervisors, advocating for local businesses, the University of Wisconsin system, and enhancing county recruitment efforts. Through my various roles on various committees, I work to sustain transportation services for our elderly and individuals with disabilities. I work to enhance social services for elderly and disabled, for our children, and also strengthen mental health service in schools and work to keep families together. I supported ensuring crucial services for our local law enforcement by providing an additional dispatch and voting support of additional dispatch and supporting efforts like the Community Action Response Team or CART to address the challenges of mental health in our community. My dedication to transparency and accountability continued when I was elected to the Village of Weston Board of Trustees in 2018. There I advocated for strong financial responsibility, live streaming of board meetings, and exploring alternative revenue sources to address the financial constraints that our village faced on a daily basis. All this experience has led me here. All my experience has taught me and informed me of the challenges that our community face, what our home will face. We can either confront these challenges individually and fail, or work together and overcome. I have witnessed the incredible power of people uniting for a common cause and the tremendous impact that they have. I vividly remember the first time I encountered the power of people uniting together for a common cause. It was a time when my father worked for, it was a time when the company my father worked for was on the verge of cutting jobs, outsourcing operations, and neglecting to increase wages. As a proud union member, my father and countless others stood together and marched in the pouring rain during a strike. Together they stood up for their rights and made a real difference. My father and his union shared a dream of fair wages, job security, and safe working conditions. Through their collective efforts, they turned that dream into a reality. That moment taught me several lessons. It showed me the power of people coming together, and I've learned that we should never be afraid of dreaming too big. Instead, we should fear not doing enough. It is reasonable to aspire for a brighter future for ourselves and future generations. Just like my father and those before who dream of a brighter future, I too envision a better and brighter future. Every night as I drift off to sleep, I envision an incredible 85th district. I dream of an 85th district where the economy is robust, our public schools are funded, our community is the safest, access to justice is guaranteed, our healthcare system is strengthened, and our environment is protected. I dream of an 85th where our local businesses thrive, where we prioritize investing in our most valuable asset, our people, and where we focus on enhancing our local labor force. I dream of an 85th where we address the childcare crisis by fostering collaborations between governments, the private sector, and nonprofits to ensure fair compensation for childcare workers and educators. I dream of an 85th where the childcare industry was profitable and thriving. I dream of an 85th where we resolve the housing crisis through strategic partnerships with developers and local governments to provide sufficient affordable housing for our community's growth. I dream of an 85th where all households, urban and rural, had equitable access to broadband, not solely relying on federal funds, but utilizing our resources effectively to bridge the digital divide in underserved areas like the rural parts of the 85th and Wisconsin. I dream of an 85th where we invest in our infrastructure, support the growth of our local airports, and ensure our roads are well maintained to keep our economy strong. I dream of an 85th where our school district receive adequate funding to address mental health, support students with special needs, and provide resources for academically advanced students. I dream of an 85th where schools are safe havens for learning and no student goes hungry. I dream of an 85th where funding for public safety providers is prioritized, workforce shortages are addressed, and mental health care services are readily available. I dream of an 85th where access to justice is ensured through fully funding critical programs like the Violence Against Women Act and Victims of Crime Act, as well as prioritizing funding for legal aid organizations. I dream of a strong healthcare system where we invest in medical education programs to combat workforce shortage and enhance access to health and mental health care in schools. I dream of an 85th where proactive measures were taken to expand Medicaid, strengthen medical providers, and safeguard against threats to healthcare access in rural communities. I dream of an 85th where we prioritize environmental protections by tackling issues such as lead pipes, PFAS, and other environmental contaminations to prevent further hardships. I dreamed of an 85th where we can all disagree with one another and still love one another because we're neighbors. I dream of an 85th where peace blossoms because we set aside our partisanships and focus on what's best for our community, for our home. Once again, we should never be afraid of dreaming too big. Instead, we should fear not dreaming enough. It is reasonable to aspire to a brighter future for ourselves and future generations. But let me be clear, these are all dreams. Dreams for our communities can only become a reality when we take action and fight for it. One of my favorite stories to tell is a story told by the Irish. The Irish tells of a story of a man who arrives at the gates of heaven and asks to be let in. St. Peter says, "Of course, just show us your scars." The man responds, "I have no scars." St. Peter looks at him and responds, "What a pity. Was there nothing worth fighting for?" I thought about this story a lot throughout the last few years. I reflected on the challenges that our community faced, and I reflected on the dream that I had for our community, for our home. And eventually I asked myself, is this community, my home, worth fighting for? And it is. It is time to take action, and I will no longer wait for good things to happen. I will now work to ensure great things happen. That is why I am proud to announce my candidacy for Assembly District 85 to represent my community and my home. I want to thank Representative Snyder for his years of service. However, I believe that my years of experience and service in local government, including my roles on the school board, village board, county board, and in nonprofit organizations, have not only prepared me for this position, but have also allowed me to remain in touch with the issues facing our community. I have fought tirelessly in the trenches to ensure that our community's best interests were prioritized above politics. With extensive experience and dedication to service, I am confident that I am the best candidate to represent you, Assembly District 85 in Madison. To my fellow neighbors, if you elect me as your representative, I will work tirelessly for all of you, with dignity, integrity, and without judgment. This campaign is not about me. It is about each and every single one of you. I cannot do this without you, so I ask for your help and your support. Whether you donate, knock on doors, host a meet and greet, or make a phone call to get out the vote, your help is greatly appreciated. But most importantly, on November 5th, 2024, vote Yee for Wisconsin. This is my home, this is our home. It is worth fighting for a brighter future. Let's move Wisconsin forward together. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, Yee Leng. And tears in my eyes because my American story resonated with his. And then I went to having fire in my soul and vision for a better world for all, and confidence for applicable change. Yee Leng's integrity and authentic characteristic skill sets serve and represent the foundation of our community. You can trust work will be done with integrity, character, and follow-through for the greater good of the whole community. Yee Leng is great at calibrating invitation to solve problems and plans to transition that skill set into the 85th Assembly District. Yee for 85th Assembly.
我准到这中年级，个的家庭做朋友做多，那到西边蒙城市的努斯卡所时都没考过着，也能享有了许多我都 assembly， 你到的 district 也有几了，这这里那了，个几了天头个边那就自己错了，做都让几做给那干样样。